In this past year, for the first time, there's been a group that's had a special sense of connection, and that is the Gap group. And we have one of the people from that first group. I thought, you know, sometimes when you're walking around the campus, like in the Michael, that's the central thing there, you see pictures of the original football team, or so someday we're probably going to have this photo of Laura Fredrickson and this first group, the first Gap group. And from that group is Peyton going, who participated in the outdoor leadership experience, service learning classes, and a 6-week-long service learning experience in St. Lucia. Her major is religious studies, and she hopes to continue to travel the world over. The title of her story is My Teacher, Reggie.
My initial reaction when I found out that I was going to be traveling to St. Lucia to build 2 homes for 2 families who needed them was I was very excited. Although I had participated in service work throughout my life with my family, I had never done anything that in my mind was of such a high caliber. I was going to be participating in directly improving the quality of life of 2 families, and I was pretty proud of that fact. But what I did not expect was when I was leaving St. Lucia, rather than feeling like I deserved a pat on the back and a good job, I was sad. You see, I had learned that rather than what was important was the relationships you built with the people while you were there, rather than the actual service work. And a man named Reggie helped me to see that. I have never met anyone who loved life as much as Reggie seemed to. He was always smiling his big, toothless smile and belting out his latest favorite pop song. And he was just trying to share the joy that he felt with all of us. He took on the role as our teacher because he genuinely wanted to build connections with us and a sincere relationship. He would, at the construction sites, he would show us what needed to be done, and he would explain all the tools and what the process of the building we were doing, and then he would give us an opportunity to do it ourselves. And he also wanted to enrich our knowledge of the island of St. Lucia that he called home. We would be driving down the street in the van, and he would stop, hop out of the car, buy a coconut, and whack it open with his machete, and then we'd all pass it around and taste the coconut water with various degrees of enjoyment. He also would bring us treats like homemade soursop juice, baked breadfruit nuts, and our favorite was fresh sugar cane to chew on. One day he even took us on a little field trip back to where he grew up, and as we drove deeper and deeper into the hills, he would stop and wave at all his old neighbors and family and friends, and at one point we even saw some of his friends working at their plantation, and he stopped to say hello, and before we left, he climbed up a tree and started tossing down oranges for us to eat on the drive back. One of my most fond memories was the night he took us spearfishing. Spearfishing was a way that he provided food for his family. On nights where the water was calm and clear, he would go out and with his harpoon gun and snorkels, and he would go and spear some fish, and that would be his family's dinner for a few nights. Well, one night he decided that he wanted us to share in that experience with him. So a small group of us hiked down the beach and across the rocky shoreline to a spot that Reggie thought was good. And for safety reasons, only 2 of us got to go in the water at a time, but we put on the snorkels and the flippers, and we jumped in the water with him. Although he knew that that was going to be his family's dinner for a few nights, he wanted us to share in this experience of actually getting to spear the fish. So he showed us all the parts of the harpoon gun and taught us how to use it, and then the next time that we saw fish, he let us take a shot at getting it. We got them. But I just thought that was really special, and that showed that he was really committed to his role as being our teacher. On one of the last days of our trip to St. Lucia, our 6 weeks there, he gathered us together for a group picture because he loved taking pictures. And as he was holding up the camera to capture the moment, I heard him say with affection and pride, "These are my students. These are Reggie's students." That just showed how much that he really valued the relationship that he had built with us over the course of 6 weeks. It showed that rather than focusing on building the 2 homes for the 2 homeless families or visiting the local schools and the nursing home and the women's correctional facility, that forming a genuine relationship with us had been what was the most important. And ultimately, that the relationships we had formed with them were important when we were leaving to drive back to the airport on the last day. The local volunteers had all gathered to say goodbye to us, and they were asking us if we were going to be coming back in January with the TRIPS program. And I realized then that they wanted us to come back not to help them build more homes, but because we were their friends and they wanted to see us again and catch up. And so perhaps the most important lesson I learned from Reggie was that by opening up ourselves and sharing our personal histories and our stories with each other, we allow the other person to do the same. And ultimately, that's how we move beyond categorical differences and just realize the sameness in our humanity. Thank you.